Yeah. Sweet dreams.
Hello, we monkeyians! Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going over how I made Dante's gun holster. Now this can go for either gender. Just the only difference is if you have boobs, you might have to, extend the bottom piece a little more. But it goes straight through the jacket, and I show you exactly how it goes in here. So that's what this little clip is for, is to show you how to put it on. It's very simple, easy to make, not that hard. Let's hop right into it. Alright, first you're going to put your jacket on and then put the tape all the way around you. Your tape is basically your template so you can see how long you're going to need it. And make sure you put it all the way around right underneath your breast, or if you're a guy, right on your rib cage. And then also do one shoulder at least, because you have two shoulders, so you only need one piece of tape. So just do that and then clip it. Once you do that, then just peel off the tape and set it to the side. Please do not get these mixed up because you need separate pieces. Alright, now you're going to cut your strips. You need 2 strips cut out. One will be for your shoulder, and make sure it's really, really thick, like really, really wide, because you're just going to cut it in half. It's a lot simpler. But I think I just cut a separate piece. Yeah, I did. See? Right here. So actually, make 2. My bad. Just like that. And then now we are going to finish cutting for the actual underneath the bust and on the rib cage. And make sure you give yourself about 1 inch of seam allowance and go a little bit past your tape, because you have to extend this out to hold the actual gun pieces and to also make straps out of. And here I am cutting a slit to make the 2 little straps that go in. And here I showed you that you needed to fold it and make sure you sew all of the corners, sew the edges, also the sides, and make sure that they are even. If they're not even, it's not going to be good. And make sure you do it to all 3 straps. You need one shoulder strap thicker than the other one, and that's going to end up going on your right side, I believe. No, your left, Alright, here's how I pinned it on, which is a little bit difficult if you're by yourself, but that's how cosplay is. Here I am, I just tie it in a little knot right quick, so that way I can show you how to put on one shoulder, and then that's the bigger side, and you're going to pin this side to the front, your other strap, and then you want to leave some, like, about, I want to say I left about 4 to 5 inches down, because it has to hold the actual gun pieces. See where I sag on the strap a little bit? Don't worry about if they're uneven, you can go back and fix it. But I had my dad do the back for me because it's very hard to do the back. So if you have a buddy, please do this. This is a lot easier. And then take it off and sew it all together. And here it is, all finished nicely and pressed and sewn. And these clips might possibly not be in order because, like, the way that I recorded it in order, I did it the way that would have been a lot easier. So if you see some pieces that aren't originally there, that's why. Now I'm cutting the like little tiny slits, because I'm putting in the 2 clips that go underneath your breast or on your rib cage if you're a guy. And here I am showing you how to fold it down, and then all you have to do is sew straight across. Make sure you sew a few times back and forth, because you want to make sure this is really strong. These are really heavy buckles, but this is what you need to pull off his effect. And that's what they look like. Make sure you put 2 on there. And now we're going to make the actual holster piece. I got some stiff interfacing that we used for the neck, for Dante's neck from the jacket. And you just wrap your guns in it if you already have guns. These are like practice. Well, this ended up being the actual gun. But like I said, it's not all in order. But cut it to the size that your gun's going to end up being. And then you're going to cut it twice, because you have 2 guns, not just 1, you got 2. So make sure you cut 2 pieces. This is to keep it stiff and keep its hold and grip. And then you're going to cut 4 squares. Make sure you give at least a ½ inch or 1 inch more all the way around. So make sure you cut it out 4 times with an extra inch. Once you do that, you're going to take your first flap, fold it, and then take your second flap and sew both pieces together. Like that. That way it turns into a nice square. That's why we cut out 4 pieces. That way the inside looks nice and the outside looks nice. It'll be a little hard to do it the next step, but it's possible, trust me. Now you're going to fold it. See how I just sewed right along those lines right there? You just fold it like a sandwich on top of each other. And that's exactly how it creates. Do that to both of them. And now we are cutting the little straps for the buckles on the actual gun holders. So cut you a big thick strap, 2 of them, and then 2 small straps. And you're going to turn them into a little arrow point, at least 1 on each one. And this is the one that's going to hold the actual buckle piece. And you cut a little slit. See, right here. I'm going to show you how to sew it on. I had to hand sew it because these buckles are too big for my machine. You just do I call it a whipper stitch. I don't know what it's actually called, but I like calling it a whipper stitch. So if you know what this is called, feel free to correct me down in the comment thing, but that's just how I remember what this is. That's not the actual name, I'm sure. And you sew it on each side, and you have to make sure that you leave plenty of room up top for the belt to look like it's actually going through it. We're just pulling off the illusion that there's an actual belt buckle, you know, like an actual belt strap there when there's not. After you sew it on each side, you're going to also go back and you're going to have to cut 2 little slits to stick that little middle piece through. That way it looks like it's actually going through the actual belt piece. Like I said, we're just pulling off the illusion. If you can make this strap a little bit longer, that would be more preferable, because I made that mistake and I made this one too short. My other one is longer. It's just fine, but this one I cut too short. But I was in my second Con Crunch. So, because the first time I just used cardboard and spray paint. But I upgraded and used the leftover suede fabric from the pants. And here I am showing you how to cut the little holes. See? And then you put 1 through, and this is where I realized that I screwed up and made it too short. And I had to cut a second hole because it goes in and then out. The actual middle piece does. That's what his shows on the holster. And also, one other thing is that make sure that when you're sewing these buckles on, that they're facing inwards towards each other. Because I made that mistake before. And then sew on your other strap. And what you're going to do is grab this little piece right here that I'm pointing at, and you're going to sew it onto that piece. But make sure you just sew it to that only, not the actual gun holster piece, but just the strap. And then, there you go. It'll pull off the actual illusion that it's a belt strap. So there's you a quick, easy belt strap. So that's how I did that right there. And you'll see what I mean by them facing inward, because I'll show you both of them here in a second. See? I have to make sure they're facing inward towards each other. I don't know why, that's just how we had it set up. Now we're going to actually decorate it. I got these iron-on studs, gold studs. Make sure they're gold. And all you do is literally peel them off and do a couple rows. I think I do about 4 or 5 rows at a time. And the way his starts is it starts with 1, then it goes 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and it keeps going all the way down until you get to the end, and then it ends in 1. I don't know why, that's just how his is. But I use gold studs, and you literally just follow exactly what I'm doing. You follow the instructions, and you put a little, after you get all these on, make sure that they're straight. I know I seem like I'm jibber-jabbering here, but make sure that they are straight, because I made that mistake a lot. And lightly put a little towel over it, and press hard and firm for 1 minute and 20 seconds. So you might be afraid you might burn the fabric, but that's why we're using the rag. It's to keep it from burning the actual suede. Then just lightly peel it off, and no studs come off. That means you're doing good so far. See, and that's why I was testing it. You want to make sure that it's completely cool before you turn it over. Now you're going to do it for 30 seconds. And you want to make sure that there is no rag this time, because this is where the actual glue is, and you want it to stiffen down. And do not touch these until they are cool. And then you flip them over, shake it, make sure it's going to stay on. See, this is what I was talking about the 1, 2, 3, and then it goes 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, all the way down. You see, some of them I didn't get a line straight. And then once you get to the bottom, towards the end, it's 3, 2, 1. Then you got 1 on each buckle piece. I know it seems like a lot of detail, but that's exactly what his has. So it took me about 2 packets. Happy cosplaying!
Jackpot.
Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for making all of these videos possible. To become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/emonk060292 or look in the description or in the eye above. Thank you guys!